It's saying the temperature of my phone is too hot. Turn off the light. Turn off the light. Hello?
Scott, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Skunky? I think we're coming up live here, and I got a countdown.
All right.
You're live because you must have a delay because I'm already way ahead of you.
Oh.
All right. Okay. So, hey, we're live. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's the Stoner Sports Report with Scott, and the guy to my right is Skunky. How you guys doing? What's up? So, I guess we have to start with the stuff that happened over the weekend, obviously. What do we know? You know, the amazing thing about sport. Oh, by the way, hey, let me just mention that this sports report is also, we have a live audience from the UK. That's right. Now, the audience is two, Kathy and Carly, but they're here because they're obviously visiting us. And so they're going to watch on it. So that's awesome. First off, so glad you guys are here. First time we're doing this. So I got a co-host. His name is Skunky. And first thing I was going to say is, you know, the amazing thing about sports is, you know, we just swear up and down. The favorites don't always win. And instead of starting with the Rangers, let's start with the more shocking series. And that's Edmonton beating Dallas. I mean, I watched that series, and honestly, I didn't realize or know that Edmonton could be that physical because they got really physical when they played Dallas. And Draisaitl and Connor McDavid totally came through. They were excellent on the power play, and that was a difference maker. In fact, the last one that they won 2-1, their two goals were. Did anybody see the shots? At one time, it was 24 shots for Dallas, 8 for Edmonton, and it was 2-0 Edmonton.
Right.
And I was like, so what the heck is going on? Well, what's going on is Edmonton found a way to. I wish the Avalanche were able to do that, but Edmonton found a way to stop Dallas from getting in the zone. So they were more physical. So we've got the shock. We've got the shocker of the series. I would say that the least favored would have been not there. There were other teams that were more least favored, but I mean of the final four, I don't think anybody expected Edmonton to get back past Dallas because I actually had Dallas winning, or at least going to the Stanley Cup and winning the whole thing. However, on the opposite, I've watched a lot of hockey, and I don't think I can remember the last time I saw a team not be able to get the puck out of their zone than the Rangers. That was crazy. I think in the last game in 60 minutes, I do believe the stat was something like 30, more than that, 41 minutes to like 19 for the Rangers. You know, the Rangers only had the puck in Florida's zone for like 19% of the time, or something like that, like 30% of the time compared to 70% of the time in Florida. That was crazy. They just couldn't get, and not only could they not get the puck out of the net, I mean, out of their zone, but the couple of goals that Florida scored were just because they fumbled getting the puck out of their zone and left the guy a foot from the net. You know, I'll say Sturgeon or Scott Sturgeon. I don't know. You know, I never got his name right. So that's surprising. So we now have Florida and we have Edmonton. And, you know, I still have to go with Florida, the favorite, but the way Edmonton's playing, it's going to be an interesting series. So.
One thing I noticed in the Florida and New York series was Florida's goalie did not give up a bunch of rebounds, and that's where the Rangers get their goals. You know what I mean? From them guys in front of the net.
I do know what you mean. One of the issues, one of the reasons that the Avalanche aren't probably going to keep Georgiev is exactly what you said. Is there are times now. I also realize you don't want a bunch of face-offs in your zone. So if the goalie, stops the puck and doesn't let it rebound, there's a face-off, right? So then but the problem is when that's what the Rangers were counting on, what they would do is shoot the puck and rush 2 to 3 guys to the net in the hopes that the puck caroms off somebody, they get a rebound. And you know how often a rebound scores a lot because the goalie's on the left side, puck goes on the right side. But that didn't happen. Dabrowski was he also knew, that's why I think the goalie matters so much. He also knew when to hold on to the puck, take that icing, that's fine, and when to not, and when to shoot it off. It makes me think that the guy who's playing awesome and what he's talking about is Skinner, the goalie of the Oilers. Are you kidding me? I mean, so, but you're right, Skunky. That's exactly what happened. Was the Rangers didn't get the rebounds that they did earlier in the series. One game was 5-4 Rangers, but like 3 of those goals were right in front of the net on a rebound.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Well, continue.
The finals will come down to whoever's the most physical, I believe, too.
Yeah, I also would say, which comes with being physical. I think once again it will be who's more effective on the power play. Remember how the Rangers, my goodness, they scored. I think if I'm not mistaken, the first game of the series they scored 1 or 2 goals on the power play and only scored 1 more for the rest of the series. They were like 1 out of 6. If you have when you kill a penalty, it also gives you the momentum because you just killed a penalty. And a lot of times when teams kill a penalty, it doesn't take much longer when they score. It seems to be one of those things about, you should have capitalized on the power play. Since you didn't, we're going to retaliate.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
The Rangers also scored just as many shorthanded goals as they did power play.
That was shocking. I agree, though. That was shocking. They scored, and I think they scored. I think you're right. I think they scored as many shorthanded goals as they did score on the power play, and that
still managed to lose.
Shocking. Yeah. All right, Skunky. So I don't know. I know about Hippie J not being a huge basketball fan. So do you watch much basketball? And talk about
I don't really watch much of it. I can tell you, I think that Boston depends on that Jason Tatum, what he does.
Oh yeah.
So
and now, I don't want to talk over you. Sorry about that. You can continue. Boston also in their conference games played teams they should have beaten easily, and most of the time they had to come back. So that's a little worrisome for them. Yeah, Boston's. What I was going to say about that is surprisingly, the Boston was the number 1 seed, and then in the West, Oklahoma City was the number 1 seed. Dallas is the 5th seed, and you know what? I think Dallas is going to win, and I'll tell you why. They beat some really good teams, but the thing of it is, it's always been the Luka Doncic show. I'm telling you what, our boy Kyrie Irving is blowing it up, and the fact that he is blowing it up makes Dallas much more tough to beat. Because the thing of it is, you almost have to put 2 people. I challenge people to watch the NBA Finals. You need to watch this guy, Luka Doncic. You need to watch this guy. He reminds people of Larry Bird because he shoots up. He'll throw up goofball shots and they go in. But he requires 2 people all the time. So you're basically double teaming him, which means now you've got 4 other guys that 3 guys can only guard. So what's happening is Kyrie Irving's getting some wide open shots and he's not missing. Dallas has got some big men. I think Dallas is good because I think you're going to agree, Skunky. There is something, even though they've won, let's not forget, Boston Celtics have won, I believe, more championships than anybody. I think the Lakers are right there. But they do have this tendency, at least lately, to choke or to like you said, Jason Tatum's 1 out of 18. It's like, what? Right. I really think that if Boston takes Dallas lightly, they're in big trouble. I could see them but the thing that I'm even though I'm picking Dallas, the fact that Boston has the home games in Boston, let's all admit, really tough to beat.
Yeah, I would
at home.
I'm going to take Dallas as well. Yep.
Are you going to go with Dallas? Because
Yeah.
I think we're going to know. I think we're going to know early in this series. For example, Dallas has to win one of those two games in Boston. They can't go down 2-0 because then that means then they got to go home and win both games. So the best thing for Dallas would be to, well, obviously to win both. But I mean, if they split the two in Boston, then that's their goal is met. They get to go home, and the series is tied at 1. But if Boston, I think we're just going to be able to tell in the first game because in sports we're always talking matchups. We're always talking matchups, and that's why. Oh, yeah, that's what I love about sports. So teams that aren't as good as the other team, if they match up well, they're able to beat them. And it's even kind of like in football, where you're like, how did this team that's 2-10 beat this team that's 11-3? Well, because what they do well, either the other team doesn't. So when it comes with the matchup between Dallas and Boston, I find extremely intriguing because Boston has a tendency to. It depends, like you said. It depends on their shot making. Dallas seems like they can. They're going to go inside more. Boston doesn't really do that. It's not just Jason Tatum. The other guy is Jaylen Brown, and they just put it up. I mean, Boston shoots, I believe, as many 3-pointers as anybody in the league, and that's great when they're going in. But when they're not going in,
Right.
and Dallas has got some big men. The other thing Boston's able to do is if they, I've seen them win games, and it shocks me. I've seen them win games where they're literally like 5 out of 30 for 3-pointers, but they got a lot of secondhand chances. They got the rebounds, put those in. They take it back.
Right. Right. Dallas, I think also if they put Luka out beyond the 3-point line, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because he can shoot it there effectively. That
Mm-hmm.
takes a guy outside, which opens up the whole middle.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got Kyrie Irving, who can just about beat anyone in basketball, running around down in there. That's a big advantage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I think that the funny thing is they really do want the Celtics do want Luka to shoot threes because if he starts doing those layups and scoring inside, then they're in trouble because now that opens up the inside. Because when if you got a team that's just shooting threes, you could actually beat them just for the fact of they're not going to go inside. So you put all your guys defensively out there on the line. But what Dallas would, like you said, what Dallas will do to you is they'll have Luka. See that what I love. Okay, you got two guards. They'll trick you. Okay, like you'll get a basket, and instead of giving the ball on the inbounds to Luka, they'll give it to Kyrie Irving, and he flies down the court. Maybe he makes a layup, but then the very next time, Luka gets the ball and slowly goes down the court, and I think you've seen that. And when he does that, it kind of reminds me of Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets, where he'll even turn his back to you as he's going down the court. And they're very effective that way because as soon as he sees another guy come to him, meaning two guys, he'll pass it to the open guy. So I am surprised about Dallas, but we watched like all the games and I was like, wow, they're really. I remember learning this a long time ago. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Teams win. Teams win wild cards. Teams win the whole thing being a wild card just because they'd won 6 or 7 games in a row to get there. And then we have teams that finish, like in football, at 13-4 or whatever. But at one time, they were 13-1, like the Eagles. Just recently, Eagles lost the last 3 games of the year and then got smoked in the first game of the playoffs. Same thing in basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder had to win the last 3 games to get the number 1 seed. They did, but I think it kind of burned them out. It's just interesting to see how teams are playing at the end of the year has a lot to do with how they do in the playoffs. That's why number 1 seeds don't win all the time. In fact, number 1 seeds in some sports, it's hilarious. I believe in hockey, the President's Trophy goes to the team with the best record. And the team that won the President's Trophy, I don't even think has won the cup in the last 5 years.
I think it's been 14.
Has it been that?
I believe it is. Yeah.
And that wouldn't surprise me because it seems like they did most of their work in the regular season to get to that point. And while the other teams rested players, and by the time the playoffs started, they were burnt out, exhausted. And boy, in hockey, you can tell because it's so physical. If the other team is taught, oh, that's what they were doing. So I love going back and forth. That's what Florida. Okay, Florida kept anybody who's listening. And here's another thing about hockey that it took me a little bit to figure out. Okay, if you have the puck in the other team's zone, nobody can come on the ice. Nobody can come on the ice. So the longer that puck stays in their zone, their 5 players don't get off the ice. Florida was able to do that for like up to 2.5 minutes. These guys only play 1 minute, and then get off the ice. 2.5 minutes. You literally see the Rangers with their sticks on the ground. They basically can't breathe anymore, trying to do whatever they can to get the puck out. And here's the worst part: if you ice it, then you still don't get off.
Right.
They don't let them get off. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
That's in with the new rule changes. Yeah.
Excuse me, fellas. I gotta.
So what else? What else you want to talk about? What else?
I gotta interrupt. I said. Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
Turpy?
Hey, Turpy. What's up?
Hi. How are you, fellas?
We're great.
You got a little bit of a lag, I guess, because I was here for a minute or two. Yeah, we gotta run some commercials, and then we gotta run our 420 song. So we'll be right back. You guys are hanging with Scott and Skunky on the Stoner Sports Report. Welcome.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you so much for being here. Commercials. I'm trying to find them. Get off my back, huh?
Hey, Mississippi, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
You in the Ellensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paints Ltd. Ugly walls? Let Collins Paints Ltd add a splash of color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran-owned and operated business. They can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring beige and hello to possibilities of bright and vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint Ltd today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
smoke lords, smiling rhyme. Yeah. Known on the plane as Miss Mary Jane. She'll get you every time. Ooh, but in the middle between the lines, smoke it rises to the top. I can't breathe, my brain is fried. I guess I'll cough till the lines stop. Human haze in a mental daze, down by the swamp where I was raised. I'm popping caps and back, listening to the guitar play. Lines of the coloring books inside my head, beyond the shadow of a doubt. I can't remember what the fuck I said. Ooh, but in the middle between the lines, smoke it rises to the top. I can't breathe, my brain is fried. I guess I'll cough till the lines stop. Mental days, down by the swamp where I was raised. I'm popping caps in the back, listening to the guitar play. Yeah, this shade of blues unknown by a few. It rings inside of my head like they always do. Your pipe is filled, reality's killed. Yeah, everything still comes in twos, while everything will fall on you.
WTHC, we're back. I'm Turpy Gigglebush, and we're hanging on the Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky, and there they are now. Welcome back, everybody. If you're out there on Live 365 and tuning, you can find us right now. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at WTHC-Radio. Happy 420 to you, gentlemen. Get back to the show. I'm loving it.
All right, Skunky, lead us off.
Okay, dude, listen, man, let me give a quick shout out to one of our local high school girls softball teams here. The Liberty Union Lions won the girls state Division III softball tournament over the weekend.
Congratulations. I love to hear stuff like that.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations to them. Yeah, it just makes me think I'm real happy to say that women's sports has come a long way since I was younger. There was a time that it wasn't, let's just be honest, there was a time it wasn't really taken seriously. Now it is. Caitlin Clark, she is phenomenal.
They're treating her bad.
There's stuff. But what's awesome is she scored 30 points a couple of days ago. And, they are going to talk because she's that good. And she's very young and she's going to learn a lot. But yeah, she could, you have a problem when players are hyped so much out of college. By the time they get to the pros, the players are like, I hope you're as good as the frickin' hype, or if they're on if he or she is on their team. However, if they're on the other teams, they're like, you are overrated. Yeah, she's probably heard that so many times already in the 5 or 6 games that I believe it's the Fever, right? The Indiana Fever. I get that right?
So did
Think
you
so?
not have you not seen the cheap
Huh?
shot on her yet?
Well,
That
I think
the girl on the other team gave her a cheap shot, and they ended up calling it a flagrant technical and fined them or whatever.
Mhm.
Have you not seen that?
Yeah, I did see that. And there's gonna be more of that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, um, now at least she went to college. When LeBron James came straight out of high school and Kobe Bryant, boy, they weren't treated well in the NBA for a little while because it's like, what are you doing here? Did your mom drive you here?
Right. Yeah.
It's like this is an adult sport. I mean, you know what I mean. So I'm just happy that women's sports, I mean, have come so far. That it's cool if you guys watch Sports Center and stuff. They've been talking lately about what Caitlin Clark. So you got to have stars. Too long. You got to have stars. And the crowd. That's what I was going to say. The crowd, like Indiana, they're selling out. Yeah, they weren't selling out before. They're selling out now because everybody wants to see Caitlin Clark. So the WNBA needs more of that, and that's what started happening about 10 years ago. Was and you see their commercials. Candace, I remember. You see that they still show the WNBA players that were back all the way back in 10, 15, 20 years ago. The more stars and now, and it's so awesome because what happens is when it all starts, it's in high school. So now, considering how popular the WNBA is, girls are taking it seriously as early as high school. But maybe they weren't so much before because what? Is there even a league? Oh, there's a league, all right. And very controversial, but whether you like her or not, I believe her name is Panone, I think it is, from the women's Olympic team. And we know about her, the one with the pink hair and stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
She's very outspoken. Well, she got
the soccer lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, she's very controversial, and people like her and people don't. There are things that I am not for. However, what she did do, and I'm for, is she got the women to be paid more, and they absolutely should be. I mean, the disparity between the two was too much, considering the women's Olympic team has won the gold cup twice at least. The men's, hello, it's like,
when they got paid all that money, they lost out in the first couple of rounds. The women did last year.
But sometimes happens. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But it also, not just them, it also helped the women's. Oh, and they're good too. The women's hockey team. The women's hockey team is good. We can't seem to beat Canada, but I think they won not too long ago by beating Canada. So it's just good all the way around to have, because it's great to have boys and girls now where you have both thinking, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to play sports outside of high school because there's more leagues now. Heck, you know what else is popular is the roller hockey is still, I mean, not roller hockey. Isn't it? What do they call it? Why am I drawing a blank with on roller skates? The women on roller skates.
Roller derby.
Roller derby. That's it. That's getting popular. That's getting popular again. Yeah, the Bay City I'm from the Bay Area. The Bay City Rollers.
Right.
I used to go, man. That was fun.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's great. I think the more, and we're not only getting women playing sports, but there are more women watching sports. And to me, the more better, because I think sports, I've said this before, I think sports does so much for an individual. They were talking about employers are like looking at your resume and going, hey, you played college sports? We like that, because that tells us a lot of things, that you know how to work with people, you've been through adversity. People look at people that have played sports and stuff one of the negative connotations is, oh, they're not very bright. We all know that that's not true. But what they do look at is, here's a team player. Yes, that's usually true. And how about this? Here's somebody that must be somewhat ambitious and cannot be lazy, because to go through college sports, oh my gosh, it's not like you still have to go to school. You still have to get good grades. You have to have a job. You have to, so it tells them, even though they didn't make it to the pros, they could be a good leader for your company. So there's a good chance that you're going to get a job out of that. So I think that's great. The Olympics were made because, hey, instead of blowing each other up, why don't we play each other in sports and we'll give out medals? You know what I mean? Because it's sports is a way of letting out your aggressions in a positive, energetic way, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I look at it.
Well, the Olympics were originally for not professionals.
No. Oh, yeah. Hey, how about that? Hey, there's some. Oh, my gosh. That's great, Skunky, because okay. One of the reasons we were one of the, I think we might have been, I'm almost sure we were one of the first countries that started complaining, because we're like, hey, we're losing to Russia, and these guys aren't amateurs. They're playing on hockey teams in Russia and getting paid for it. Good point. So they're like, okay, so what are you getting at? What we're getting at is we want our NHL players to be allowed to play in the Olympics. And they're like, well, how is that fair? That's easily fair, because we're not going to get them all. A lot of these NHL players, and sure enough, who's been winning Canada, are from Canada. So they should be able to play for their Canadian country, as well as the NHL players that are American get to play for the U.S. and so on. And heck, even the Russian players that can play for Russia. So, but our point being is, remember when they said okay, and we got our NBA players and the dream team, and we were beating teams. I think we beat Brazil like 140 to like 30. Like, literally just. But
I don't think that was the intended spirit of the Olympics, though.
No, it wasn't. But to speak on their side, though, but it's not fair if the other countries are using their professional players in their leagues against our amateurs. That's where it came down to. Now, are we still losing? Are we still losing like in skiing events? Of course, because that's how good they are. But I mean, we have totally turned around the sports like hockey. Yeah, okay. Why can't a professional American boxer play in the Olympics? Why does he have to be? So, but we haven't changed that, though. Have you noticed that? There are certain sports we didn't change. We're like boxing, still amateurs.
Right.
But basketball, I mean, we were using our college players, and we were still doing not bad. Still weren't doing not bad, because, basketball, we got some good players in this country. But the one that was sad was we were getting just freaking creamed in hockey. There wasn't even so when we got, but we did beat, remember, we beat with amateurs. We beat, they did a movie, Miracle. We beat Russia in the Olympics.
1980.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. That was actually very cool, because we did that, my friend, with amateurs. I really didn't have I really don't have a problem with it, because I actually do think it's what I think is cool in the NHL. I really like the fact that they do the professionals, because they're not all American. So that means, Finland's like, oh yeah, we get 2 of our NHL players or whatever, and they found that more people watch it because they're more, they recognize, they go, oh hey, I didn't know he played for the Islanders, and stuff like that. So I like to go ahead.
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think the professional hockey players are in the Olympics any longer.
Oh yeah, no. Well, my phone's up here. If we got some researcher, I think so.
They went back to just amateurs.
They could have. If I'm wrong, shame on me. But they used to.
I'll have to check that one out for next time.
Huh. Yeah, because there was obviously a time, because remember Peter Forsberg playing for Sweden.
Right.
When he was with the Avalanche. So regardless, I to stay on the NHL, what I love out of all of our four major sports, it's the most diverse. My God, so we have guys all over the world that play hockey.
Right.
I'm even. How about this? I'm happy to see there are more African American hockey players now, and from other
There
countries.
seems to be a bunch of them. Yes.
Yes, and you notice that by watching, and I like that because I love when sports expand their where they expand to the point of where they're not only we've got recruits in the four major sports that are everywhere. We've always had guys MLB down in Venezuela, but in other countries that you wouldn't expect to see, because talent is all over the world. So what I'm getting at is the more opportunity, the better. And there's no question. The one, and I think it's because it gets brought up. You look at the NBA, NHL, MLB, and I'll just do all three. The MLB has tons of people from Costa Rica, Venezuela, all those places, Puerto Rico, Spain. I mean, you name it. Then you got the NHL. It's got people all over the world. The NBA is they have totally improved in that, where they're getting the number one player. The number one pick was out of France. The number one pick was out of France and went to the Spurs. Luka Doncic is Croatian, I believe, or Serbia, maybe one of those. But it's very diverse. But then you have football, man. Yeah,
They're trying.
We have a few Canadians. Nobody.
Yeah.
Let's see. There are players. See, look, I got to stop and think.
Canada also has their own professional league.
Heck yeah, the CFL, and that's where Kurt Warner. That's where Kurt Warner got his start. He might have started in arena football. I know he played both, but Kurt Warner got his. People started noticing him in the CFL. Doug Flutie, remember good old Doug Flutie with the Prayer Path, Boston College?
Yeah.
He was in the NFL and it wasn't working out, and he got a second career in the Canadian Football League. But as for players from other countries in the NFL, and I have heard people explain it before. I was watching something on ESPN once. I think it was one of their E60s, and they were talking about, since it's not necessarily popular in other parts of the world, these kids aren't even interested in football. That makes sense when you think about it. Yeah, so it's not something that they're gonna. But everybody can pick up a stick and hit a rock. So you got kids all over the country that want to play baseball and stuff. So I don't really know if that will ever change. If the NFL, we can pretty much call our American sport, because it's mainly Americans that are playing football. So.
Yeah.
So, okay, what else? Hey, Skunky, what's going on? Okay, so hey, I'm in Colorado, Ohio, right?
Yeah. I'm in Ohio, yeah.
So what do you got? So what's going on with the Indians and what's going on?
I have not paid any attention whatsoever. I have heard that there's the shortstop for the Reds is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, you mentioned him before. I'm guilty too. I have yet to really watch much baseball, but still, I feel like could probably, if we had questions, probably answer them.
Right. Well, soon the hockey and basketball will be over, and that leaves nothing to watch but baseball. So,
well, if you don't mind me interrupting, I saw something about San Diego Padres shortstop being banned for life for gambling.
Is that Junior?
No, I don't know his name.
What's his name?
Fuck! I even tried practicing it so I could remember.
Yeah.
It's like ANCUPITA and Cuputa that was his first name. I don't even know.
Banned for life for gambling.
Yeah, the whole Pete Rose kind of shit. But he was out
Hell
with
yeah.
a torn Achilles tendon. And then I guess while he was out with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he played for the Pirates. Then he got traded to maybe San Diego. I want to say the Padres.
Yeah.
And then the Padres, yeah, he's being accused of gambling and illegal gambling on his own baseball games or whatever. Yeah, so that's big news.
So,
And, did you guys happen to see any of the fight this weekend as well? You know, don't forget about the MMA. That's
Dustin Poirier, and
yeah.
I saw a little bit of it actually. Yeah, so you streamed the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I was in there until like 2 a.m. for crying out loud. Sons of bitches. Oh yeah. Welcome in, everybody.
yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Hey, Scott, I did see our outstanding information guy put up the hockey does allow for our NHL players now. They're going back to the pro this year.
that's what I see. Okay, good. That's what see, I'm glad that. Way to go, research guy, because I thought I heard on it. So did you watch any of the fight?
No, I fell asleep.
Yeah, see, I got it recorded. Haven't got a chance to watch it yet. We're also entertaining people from the UK. Yay. But yeah, I got to get a chance to watch it. So, Turpy, are you still there?
Oh yeah. I'm here. I'll be here.
So-
all night. I'm here all night, everybody.
So, who won? Did Dustin Poirier win?
Oh, do you want me to tell you? Oh, it was crazy. It was a great fight. And now they're saying that where's that guy from? Not Poirier, but the other guy.
Yeah,
Where's he from? Is he Polish or is he Russian?
I believe Russian, something like that way.
Gotta check or whatever his name. Well, anyway, Poirier and they went to the 5th round, and it was a bloodbath. They were kicking the ever living shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I love it.
then all of a sudden, I don't remember. I'm pretty high, but I think he got him into some sort of a hole like this and around his head.
Oh, a submission. I think that's the rear naked choke.
No, it was called something the Coruscant choke or something. Coruscant choke, Coruscant, I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
But
That's
he
cool.
choked him out with like 2 minutes left in the 5th round. It was crazy. And now they're saying that Russian
Well, that's-
or whatever he is.
Yeah,
He
the
was
Russian guy. He's been around for a while.
They were talking about
Right.
him and Conor McGregor going at it now. Conor's coming back, and they want Conor and him. They're in the same way.
Isn't that funny? Because Conor McGregor is also going to star in the new Popeye movie. Did you guys know that?
I think that's already in the works. It's probably already almost done. Yeah,
Yeah, it's it's already in the works.
I think
But
that
I'm not-
guy would beat Conor McGregor easily.
Yeah, they were pretty much saying the same thing. They said Conor's crazy if he takes the fight because Conor, as soon as he gets down onto his back, he ain't getting back up. He never gets back up. You notice he's always down there, and that's where dude's gonna take him out because he's a submission king down there. That guy, rumor has it.
Yeah, he also like he's one of those that cracks me up where he swings wildly. And what he'll probably do is, since he's making a comeback, he'll swing wildly, which leaves him wide open. Even a jab, like Turpy was saying, even a jab, because you're so wide open when you're swinging. If you hit him right, we'll knock him to the ground. Now he's all right. Like you said, you just knock him down. Next thing you know, dude jumps on him. It's over. Bye, Conor.
Yeah, but I
Connor's
don't
got
know
his-
if that's- I don't know if that
Connor's
was
got to
definitely
stay
or
up.
not.
Yeah.
Then I saw something else. I saw Roy Jones Jr. I think is that who Tyson fought last? I think he volunteered to step in because Tyson's unable to make his fight because of his bellyache. No offense, Tyson.
Oh
But,
my!
but he's got a bellyache, and so Roy Jones Jr. has volunteered his services to step in and beat the ever living shit out of Jake Paul.
He
So,
would too, I believe. Yes.
too.
Wait, you guys, you really think that like one of those two is going to beat Jake Paul though? Really?
Oh yeah.
How old is Jake Paul? Like 30 something?
Yeah, I would think somewhere in there, 28, 29,
I mean,
30, 31, 32. I don't give a shit how
well, how
old
old's Tyson? Like 70? Is he like?
he is.
No, 60. He's not quite 70. Damn. You're going to drag an oxygen tank to the ring with him?
Oh, I love it, you guys. I love it. Senior boxing. That's awesome. You have to at least be 70.
He's
Yeah.
fucking diesel, dude. He is still fucking rock hot solid, man.
But
60 years
okay,
old.
all right, but
He
yeah,
will fuck that kid
but
up.
he, Roy Jones Jr. When Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fought, it went like, didn't it go like the distance, and they just kind of hung on each other for most of the fight. Jake Paul is the fact that he's younger. I mean, if the guy knows all you need to do is just don't sit there and try to knock him out in the first few rounds, and let's see how this 6-year-old looks in the third and fourth round. You know, we haven't.
You're both fucking shit talking the senior citizens here.
Right.
Roy Jones Jr.
I'm hanging out
Roy
with
Jones
the
Jr.
senior citizens over here, and they're talking shit about their homie. What the hell?
I think Roy Jones Jr., believe it or not, you guys, would be more of a challenge because he has the most unorthodox stance I think I've ever seen. He literally is almost like on the ground with his knee. He literally goes around you like going up. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. And then he backs up. Yeah, I've watched Roy Jones. And then he'll swing a couple times. And then when you go to swing, since he's down so low, he'll just back up. And then he'll try to get you with the. So, I think Roy Jones Jr. would be just clanging Jake Paul, because Jake Paul be looking that weird. That stance is weird. I'm telling you, you don't fight really anybody else that fights like Roy. Roy Jones Jr. doesn't imitate anybody. He's got such a weird stance. Yeah, you agree. Yeah, when he's fighting, they go on and the announcers are like,
I was a
the guy he's fighting is looking at him like, what the heck?
It was
when
awesome.
boxing in America was cool and it was allowed.
Yeah.
back
Oh, I
then.
love.
I
Yep.
loved it.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of him, and I was a big fan of the twat waffle. What's his name there? The British dude, the black guy.
Are you
Lewis.
talking about UFC Anderson's? Wait,
No,
Anderson
Lewis.
Silva?
Yeah.
Lennox.
Oh, boxing. Oh,
Lennox
Lennox
Lewis.
Lewis.
Lennox Lewis.
Oh, yeah. Great accent. He's like, hey, you guys, he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
Okay, or even higher. He might be 6'9" or something. Lennox Lewis. When Mike Tyson fought him, the video is hilarious. He's literally jumping. I mean, you can watch it. He's literally jumping.
Maybe we'll watch that this week in our Discord, folks. If you're
That would be because and Lewis is such a classy champion.
Oh, he was
Such a classy man. I mean, such a classy man. He not only did he not shit talk, not only did he not shit talk, but like when he fought Tyson, he was like, "You guys want to know the truth?" He goes, "When Tyson was in his prime, he probably would have beat my ass." Okay. He goes, "I fought him when we were both like 40." He goes, "When Tyson was in his 20s."
Ear sensations. I don't know why my ears are starting to hurt, but I don't know.
You're having weird sensations?
In my ears, homie. You got your ears broken? My ears are broken too. I'm having ear sensations. We're talking about Tyson. All of a sudden, my ears are
I
starting to
know.
hurt.
That's good.
Nice.
My
How
ears
about that, though? I mean, what's the famous? I love talking this old stuff, but what's the famous referee's name? What's his name? Who was doing that fight? Because he's famous.
He's Herb.
But it's so funny.
What?
Huh?
Mills Lane.
Mills.
I think that sounds right.
Mills.
Okay, he calls them to the center of the ring, and it's all on mic, remember, because we're all watching it live. And he goes, "Hey, Mike, come here." Yeah, and then he goes, "Hey, Evander, come here." And they meet in the middle of the ring, and he goes, "Now look, he either said the word ridiculous or embarrassing, one of the two." And he goes, "So I don't even need to talk to you, Mike, because honestly, if it were up to me," remember what he says? He goes, "If it were up to me, I'd stop the fight. But a lot of people spend a lot of money to see you guys fight. This is a pay-per-view fight. So I'd love for it to continue. But you know what? That's not up to me. That's up to Evander." You remember? He turns over to Evander and he goes, "Now look, do you want to go out there with this guy now again?" Evander goes, "Yeah, I'll do it. how long? What was it? A minute later? What was it? A minute half later? That chomp the other did it again. But I love how Miles Lane said, "Look, people spent a lot of money. I mean, they so much want to see you two fight. If Mike can promise not, that's what he said. If Mike can promise not to do it again,
feed the pit bull before he goes into the ring. You need to feed him.
Yeah.
That was the issue. Is they didn't bring him to.
And what about that fight though? I'm glad we're talking about it because I've always had, because of the man, the respect for Evander Holyfield. But I'm going to tell you right now, I got mad respect for him in that fight. He was beating Tyson's ass. I'm like, wow, Holyfield. When they announced the fight, obviously Holyfield was taking this seriously because Tyson was getting frustrated and he kept shaking his head, and Holyfield's just like, come on, man. And then remember, like in the second round, this happened in the third round. Like after the second round, Holyfield sits down and his trainer goes, "You are so in his head right now." And sure enough, that's right.
Holyfield stayed up close to him and frustrated him.
Oh my gosh. Tyson came out in the first round like he always does. Tyson, remember how he runs across the ring? Yeah. He ran across the ring and Holyfield just sat there like Muhammad Ali and let him just fire away. I'm like, dude, that's all you got? And I went, ooh, Holyfield's ready to go. This is going to be a great fight. Tyson would wear himself out. Remember, that was the one thing about Tyson. If you were going to beat Tyson, you had to get past the first round. I was looking
forward to that fight. That was like one of my all-time exciting fights ever. I was so pumped for that fucking fight. And then the Bulldog came out.
Me and my friends chipped in on the pay-per-view. We couldn't wait. This is going to be the fight of the century, man. This is going to be it.
We had 25 people hanging out, drinking and partying, smoking, having a grand old time, getting ready. And then
absolutely.
I said, I am so sick. I never rented another fight from him ever again. I was like, that is the final straw. I said, I am not going to pay. I was tired of paying for 60-second fights, and I was pissing me off. You'd pay and he'd get in there and he'd beat somebody's ass in 30 seconds and the fight would be over.
That happened over and over. Hey, you guys, since we're talking Mike Tyson,
$49.95 for that fight.
Another one that I watched that we only did a few, like Turpy was saying, because every time you freaking got ripped off because fights were too quick. How about this one? Can you beat this one? We got the pay-per-view for the see if I can remember his name, the Mike Tyson. He was in Rocky. Help me out.
Tommy Gunn.
Yeah, but his real name is Tommy what?
Tommy Gunn. No, Tommy.
No, but his name is his real name is Tommy Morrison.
Morrison.
Yeah, he died.
Yes, okay.
Right? He died.
Yes, same one. So we're all excited. We get that pay-per-view fight, 27 seconds. As soon as the bell rang, Tyson ran over there, hit him in the jaw once, hit him in the gut. Remember, it was a gut punch. He's out. And the announcers were like, wow. Hey, there you go, folks. There's your 27-second fight.
$49.95 for 13 seconds again. There you go, you son of a bitches. Yep. They had us for a long time. Now we got them.
Yeah, and then you notice now what they're doing is at least they have a decent amount of prelims, so you're going to get some fighting. But what you want, though, is you want the stars to fight. You want to see a 3-round fight between two of the best instead of a 37-second. Yeah,
so much better because even if it ends in the first round, it's a knock the fuck out, or a broken. Like we saw a broken arm this week in MMA. It was pretty sweet.
That's one of the things that turned me off since Turpy's talking about it. That's one of the things that has turned me off about boxing is too many 12-round fights where there's not much really action. Nobody really ever gets hit the entire time. Might be a couple knockdowns, but the UFC, brutal. Even in the submissions, it's like, oh, the arm's not supposed to go that way.
Well, that's how it went this week. That's how it was this week. It was like, oh, shit, that arm is supposed to stop there.
He broke it, didn't he?
I
There
didn't
seems to
ask him if it was broken or not. He wasn't using it well, but he was pissed off that they called the fight. But you could see clearly he tapped my man's ass and then was about to cry, and then he was pissed because he lost. I don't remember. It was the fight before the main. It was the co-main event, I think they called it.
Great.
Yeah. And it was a good fight. And then, they were kicking the crap out of each other. There was no bad fights that night, I don't think. I don't know. I got it pretty high. But there was a lot of prelims, and the goddamn Ranger game was on at the same fucking time, pissing me the fuck off. I'm like, I want to watch one or the other, but I don't want to watch both at the exact same time. Ugh. Anyway. This is your guys' show. Let me get out of here. You guys are in charge. You got another hour. We got 420 coming up. Let's get it. Talk about that shit, man. I'm down. All right, let me get. How do I get out of here? Where's the door? There it is.
What you got next?
Well, I'm also thinking if we're doing 2-hour shows, there could be a lot of people that tuned into the first one, and then who knows how many to the second one. So in a sense, I think we recap what we talk about. Like at top of the hour, we start like we did before, where we're talking about the finals and stuff on both sides, because there's people that might not even tune in for that long, or are tuning in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that. And a lot of times, if you're doing a 2-hour show, that's what you're going to do anyway. Is you're going to, especially if you notice Sports Center does to that, too. They recap, reiterate stuff like that. Because,
Sure.
So, I mean, having said that, like we were talking about, we opened up with, to me, the soccer is without a doubt the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know if that has a lot to do with the fact that they weren't as physical during the regular season, and even honestly. Weren't necessarily extremely physical in the playoffs early rounds. They stepped up. I mean, I was watching the final. The last one was 2-1. This is Dallas. And
Connor McDavid showed up for that game.
So did Draisaitl. I think Draisaitl had a great. Yeah, I was really impressed with him too. And honestly, because of Dallas. If I had to give the MVP of the Oilers, I might just go with Skinner, the goalie. It's either him or. But see, Connor McDavid didn't get a lot of goals and stuff, but what he did do is he got points and he got a lot of people paying attention to him, and he was able to get the other guys involved. Draisaitl had a great series
when he needed to. Yes. Yep.
But the display that the Panthers put on with the as Turpie mentioned quite a few times, and absolutely correct, the shot differential was crazy. I mean, we're in the third period, and the Panthers got 41 shots, and hey, they just hit 20. And they would say the announcer would be like, Rangers got their 20th shot. Florida did it all though, because remember those are also misleading too, because when they throw up on the screen shots on goal, what that means is the puck that actually got to the goalie. So then they'll even break it down later in the game and they'll go, hey, Panthers have 41 shots. They actually have 67, but the Rangers blocked like 20 whatever of them. So, but the Rangers did shoot more than it shows. Like the last game, I think, where they had like 24 shots, they actually had 40, but they had 16 that were blocked a foot. Some only made it a foot.
Right, just not on goal. Right. Yep.
So,
quality shots.
Huh?
Florida had more quality shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I believe that the NHL calls them scoring chances, but by Florida had more of those. Plus, they scored on the power play.
Right.
They were able to. And in the playoffs, especially when you get into the finals and stuff, the power play we usually see has a huge impact on the outcome of the game. So,
yeah.
And then, of course, on the other side, we have the Mavericks and the Celtics. And I know there's a lot of Boston fans out there. They have a huge following, so I know they're all excited. But I think they're in for a series that they might not be expecting. Dallas being a fifth seed. Obviously, fifth seeds don't make it to the finals all that often, but it's how they were playing at the end of the year, and they've been playing great in the playoffs, and they've impressed me because they with Kyrie Irving are a different team. With Luka, you could beat them because he's slow. Remember they had Porzingis, and okay, here's something. Kristaps Porzingis plays for Boston now. And he's this tall, skinny guy that was pretty good at shooting 3-pointers. Dallas got him, and basically other teams double teamed Luka, and he wasn't getting it done. So now, instead of a big, skinny guy, you got little guard Kyrie, who's quite a different kind of player. However, what it does, if you're going to double team Luka, Kyrie's just going to blow it up, and he did. There were games he had 37 points. Then the very next game, he only gets 14. Oh, no. Luka gets 40. See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So that tells me that when the second game with Minnesota said, okay, well, you know what? We're not going to let Kyrie beat us, so we'll just single team Luka. That's not good. That's not smart.
Right.
So it makes Dallas is tough to defend, but don't get me wrong. Boston won 60, I believe, 62 games this year. I mean, Boston blew it up this year and beat teams by 40. But this is a team. Dallas, I think, is. I'm just feeling it. I think Luka is finally going to get a ring. I think I like Dallas in this.
Dallas won last year, right?
No, last year it was. Might even have been. Guy, which is this my phone? I believe it was.
Oh.
Give me a second. Who won it last year?
I thought Dallas did.
Let's see. It was. Oh man, I wish I had. Okay, you've got a researcher. Who won the NBA Finals last year?
Phoenix?
No.
The Denver Nuggets.
Come on, man.
Yes.
That's your team. Good grief.
That's funny. That's why it's called the Stoner Report. There you go. The Nuggets.
Good one.
And as soon as you were doing that, Turpy, I was like, oh, I know the team. It's the Denver Nuggets. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, Dallas won the last time. That's funny. The last time Dallas won, I believe, was Dirk Nowitzki. I think, and he didn't retire that long ago. Remember, that was just about three or 4 years ago. And just saying Dirk Nowitzki just made me think, how sad about Bill Walton. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that, not even on the sports report. I think me and Hippie J, or maybe that was the last time I was on, talked about. That was sad. What a great ambassador. But I love the goofy guys. Dude was just out there, man, strange as can be. And it was great. It's great for the sport. It goes back to what I said before about bringing more fans in. The more diverse you are, the more fans you're going to bring in.
Right.
So my hope is with us is we're not going to do like what you would call quote unquote serious sports reports. What we're going to do is more natural guys that sit at home and watch sports, kind of sports, and people that go to games,
Right.
But of all backgrounds, whatever you're into, whatever race you are, whatever you're into, period, come join us because we're all about people are different, and I love that.
Yep.
And I love how we have fans. I love the NFL. Is got a huge following around the world, and I love that. That's why we're playing in other places like the UK and Mexico City and places like that because there's a huge fan base and. So
how long do you think it'll be before they have a team over in the UK?
Well, see, it's funny that you mentioned that because the talk constantly comes back to simply the same reason why we have a state that would probably support a football team in Hawaii. What keeps going on is the travel. Too expensive. Okay, so the reason we play a couple games in London, it's always different teams. It's not like Denver's playing every week in London. It's Denver and Dallas, and then it's because of the cost of travel. So if you had a team that played in London, they'd have to figure out, the travel. And not only that, how about this? Okay, the team from London would probably struggle because of jet lag. You got an 8 hour. You got a 7 because Kathy and Carly is 7 hours later there now than it is here. So
Well,
it's got, you know what I mean? So they discussed all that. That's why it's more likely, honestly, if we're going to have a team that's not in, the United States, uh, the fact that Canada's got a football league, kind of, believe it or not, it could be Mexico, or they could figure out a way that where okay, they've discussed this, and I thought this is interesting. They discussed, if we have a team in London, how about if this happens? How about if for 4 weeks straight they're at home? Okay, then we give them, and so you'll like this, or sometime we'll give them that. Remember, how they give you a bye, so you have 2 weeks.
yeah,
How about we give them a? How about they go to the United States? We give them a bye, and then they play like 3 or 4 games straight there. Or even if not a bye, at least you have a week. But I think you know what I'm getting about that jet lag could definitely affect the players to where that's an issue. Because our players have already said that I guess when we first started doing this and we went to Wembley Stadium, I wish I did. They're not playing at that stadium now, but they first did. There was a lot of talk about that maybe we should go early. Maybe we should go and hang out there for the whole week. Because
right.
at first they went, I think they went on Friday, and they're like, "Oh hell no, I have no idea what time it is." They're all, so yeah, they're, because London, I mean, the UK, they love the NFL, and I don't think it's a question of would they support it? Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I think the whole season would be sold out before, as soon as somebody knew, because of social media, they'd be sold out immediately.
What if
they love it.
What if you put two teams over there? Now you have two weeks to play over there in a row. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, at least, okay, the 4 is a lot. No, and I think you know exactly what I'm getting at. You'd have to stay. I think it's best that you stay. So, how teams do get 2 home games? Well, you're going to give London 3. You're going to give them 3 in a row. And then when they go, because it's easier to acclimate to the time change, but it's so popular that they're totally discussing it, and I'm sure they're doing it. Maybe even as we speak, they're talking about it, because the NFL doesn't want to miss out on money. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine if London? I know, see, we're all shaking our head. Yes. Can you imagine if London had an NFL team? Man, the London Royals. Look
what they do for soccer.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think of my name? What do you think of my name? I just came up with it. The London Royals. Like it? Not everybody would, though.
No. Hi, I'm gonna interrupt for a second here. Utah has a clear choice for its NHL team name. Utah's NHL club must avoid making a big mistake and pick Yeti as its team name already, says Michael DeRosa. Utah must avoid making a big mistake and pick Yeti as its team name. Last week, NHL owner Utah Ryan Smith provided a big update regarding Utah's potential team name. Smith shared on the Pat McAfee show that there are 4 finalists and noted that Yeti and Mammoth are among them. Hearing that Yeti and Mammoth are among the finalists to be Utah's name, it's not surprising. Back in April, I ranked the original 8 names trademarked and had both of them in the top 3. While Mammoth would be a good name to go with, the Utah Yeti would be the best. Still thinking they're the Utah Yeti. From a marketing standpoint, Utah would have much work by going with Yeti as its team's name. There's a perfect fit. It has a professional hockey team named after a mythical creature known for living in the snow. The logo and merchandise have lots of potential to be spectacular. The Yeti would also make great for a NHL mascot. Yada, yada, yada.
I even like the no S. I'm a fan of that. We have too many teams that end in S. Now we'll have the Wild, Avalanche, Yeti. I like it. Yeah.
The Utah Yeti would also create or enhance 2 new rivals in the NHL. The Colorado Avalanche and the Utah teams would immediately connect because They're in the neighboring states, and they would compete with each other in the Central Division, having the Yeti would be like a battle of the snow, and it would be more like some backstory to a new rivalry. The Avalanche once had a Yeti foot as a shoulder logo.
Yes.
And their original mascot was Howler, the Yeti. However, Utah would also spark a rivalry with the Seattle Kraken. If it goes with Yeti, the Kraken, of course, are the named after mythical creature as well. There would naturally be some bantering among both clubs. Fans would about whether the beast or the mountain or the sea, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, Yeti is not only an excellent choice, but it also has the chance to provide more entertainment on the ice for fans. It really should be a no-brainer for Utah to go with Yeti as its name. What do you think, gentlemen?
Agree.
I kind of agree, too. I like it. Yeah.
Well, and so do I. I was going to say, because you got to it before I can say something, but that's exactly what they have. The Avalanche for a while have a big old paw on their jersey, and that's exactly what he said. So I could totally see the rivalry. I think that's fantastic. And I could see it with the Kraken. Can the Yeti beat the Kraken? There's another team without an S.
Seattle has a hockey team. I didn't even know. Did they play this year?
Yeah. Actually, you know what's kind of sucks about it? Hey, Turpy, the year before, not this year, but the year before, the Colorado Avalanche lost in the first round to the Kraken.
Really?
And then the Kraken got smoked by Las Vegas. Las Vegas won the whole thing last year.
How many hockey teams are there now? 36?
32,
I think. 32.
All right.
I believe so. Yeah. I wonder where they'll start another hockey franchise.
I don't know. Hey, Skunky, you want to do me a favor? There's something that I have to do here. Like 30 seconds, and I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
He's got to go dump his colostomy bag. Idaho. You a hoe. That's right. You said it. You the hoe. Kyle said he the hoe over there. Idaho. I know. Well, everybody. We are talking Stoner sports. What are you saying, Stoner?
I would buy a Yeti's uniform. It's got a Bigfoot print on the shoulder.
I don't know if I'd care. I'm still going to be a Ranger fan. How'd it go? Everything go all right, buddy?
Absolutely, and it was not the bag. It was, more personal than that. What could be more personal than that?
Your condom had a hole in it, I guess. I don't know.
That's funny.
All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I think the Yeti totally fits. I mean, I always like to say it out to the Utah Yeti. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm a fan. I like it.
Sure.
Well, I've done actually most of the talking, Skunky. So hey, go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Did you happen to see where Major League Baseball now has allowed the old Negro League statistics into baseball?
Yeah, and I think I go ahead though.
Which now means that Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth and all them are no longer the leaders. A fella named Josh Gibson leads everything now.
Well, and if that's the case, still, I think I said before, I'm totally okay with that.
Sure.
I'm totally okay with that for several reasons. I mean, basically, shame on us for having to have that league in the first place. Should have never happened. Shouldn't have been. It's like to me in sports, to me, sports are like the most simple requirements. I mean, simple requirements. You can either play or you can't. If you can play baseball, we literally got people saying, I don't care how good he is. Look at his skin. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's not what sports has really ever been about. It's been about you can either play or you can't. In fact, that's why, to be honest, sports can be brutal. Sports can be cutthroat. Sports can offend people. That's why we have participation trophies. Sports can be offensive because Win, you're good. Lose, sorry. If you can't play, you can't play. If you can play, you can play. And that's the way it should be. But to have a league, where you can only play Major League Baseball if you're white, oh, man, that's kind of sad. But we've come a long way. So I think it's great because oh my gosh, Satchel Paige, Gibson. I mean, man, they had some boys. Of course, obviously Jackie Robinson. Roberto Clemente talked. I don't know if he played, but his dad did or something. He was a huge proponent. And I didn't realize that the fan base was pretty good too. I mean, it's not like this was a league that nobody watched. I didn't realize that I really didn't. I didn't realize that. Sure. I had to read some history on the Negro League. I went, wow, But Willie May, I mean, just a
lot of those players come to the Major League Baseball.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think that was great. And I think it's cool they're doing that. And, on the topic, since we got 420 coming up. MLB.
I got to do a commercial if you're ready.
You know what? I'm sorry, Turpy. Yeah, there's so many people in our family. There's just so many people in our family. That's a good time. Why don't we hit a commercial and do a 420 count?
And our 420 song, and we'll be right back. You're hanging on WTHC with the Stoner Sports Report.
You in the Ellensville or Middletown, New York area? Revamp your space with Collins Paints Ltd. Ugly walls? Let Collins Paints Ltd add a splash of color to your world. Collins Painting is a veteran-owned and operated business. They can transform your space to whatever your heart desires. Say goodbye to the boring beige and hello to possibilities of bright and vibrant colors. The Collins Painting team are a group of skilled professional painters who will turn your vision into reality. Call Collins Paint Ltd. today to get a fast and easy quote. Available Monday through Fridays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them at 845-869-8176.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Forge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Forge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
Hey, Mississippi, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Hey, Buck Sticky, it was so great to have you here at the Cup, man. You rock.
I get high like a mountain top.
Okay, we're back, and I'm hanging out by myself. Skunky's playing video games. Oh, there they are. Sorry.
Oh, I'm here.
No,
I'm
man,
right
that's
here.
how I look up news.
Oh, you were looking up news. I got you.
We're working, sir. What's going on?
Yeah.
So, once again, welcome to another edition of the Stoner Sports Report with Scott and Skunky.
I just found something here that says the NFL's looking for an 18-game season coming up.
Okay, say that again.
The NFL's wanting to go to an 18-game season.
I wouldn't be surprised at that. The fact that, they went to 17 every time. Every time we, are going to talk about, another game. It's wait a minute, yeah. Oh, this is we can. Yeah, I just thought things are going through my head. Wait a minute, yeah. If they want to go to an 18-game season, you all realize that all the NFL players are going to complain about it because it's another game, another bang-up game where they're going to get hurt and stuff. That's why the NFL players complain so much about the 17-game schedule. That's why they dropped one preseason game because they were like, "No, come on, man, we're going to have." So not only can I see it, but I can tell you now. Now you can pretty much guarantee. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the preseason anyway, but having said that, you can pretty much guarantee if they go to an 18-game schedule, anybody's going to play in the preseason. You already noticed that the starting quarterbacks don't even, if they're anybody, don't even play. I mean, at all. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I think, played 3 plays in the preseason. Now, I mean, there's some players I'm not concerned about, but what it does is then now things have to happen. Okay, so what are we going to do here? If we go to an 18, then now at least it's even because the things that teams are already complaining about right now is, for example, the Raiders. They got 8 home games and 9 road games. That sucks. I mean, that's the way you can't split it because you can't split 17. So you're either going to get, unless they wanted to do one game at a neutral zone site, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But the problem with all that is, okay, so if we're going to go to an 18-game season, when's the Super Bowl? Are we going to stretch that out another week? Because that's where the problem. If you notice remember how it was always 2 weeks, and now that's not true. We've had Super Bowls that have been 1 week later than the NFC AFC Championship.
Money.
And then money. So, the fact that they're talking about it, I guess we should, as sports fans, all prepare for that because then what it will be is every team will get 9 home games and 9 road games. So that will stop the complaint. And they're already doing that. Teams, but nobody has like 7 and 10. But you're going to either get 8 home games or 9 home games. And if anybody out there is going, well, heck, if you're good on the road, who cares? No, it has nothing to do about whether you're good on the road. It has everything to do with, as Skunky pointed out, money. And you get how it works. I don't know exactly, but in the NFL, the home team gets more of the money, of course, because they're the home team. But the other team gets, especially if it's a sellout, they get money too, because that's how they worked it out. But I could see that the fact that they're talking about it, we obviously already know that they can do this stuff quickly. We already know that this year is going to be another 17-game season. So when you look at it, from a playoff standpoint, when it was a 16-game season, it was like 9 and 7. 9 and 7 can get you in. Remember, you only had to be like 2 games. We had the New York Giants won the whole thing at 9 and 7. I think the Raiders did in '84. So you could win with that, but you can get in the playoffs at 9 and 7. Well, now because of the 17-game schedule, 9 and 8's tough. There's some 9 and 8 teams that didn't make the playoffs. You got to go. It's once again the magic number is 10. You go 10 and 7, and you're probably in the playoffs. So you get to any team. When the 17-game season, you say to yourself, we win 10 games, we're probably in. We go 10 and 7. But you go 9 9-8. 9-7 is better than 9-8. See what I'm getting at? When it was a 16-game season, you looked at winning 9 games. Now that it's a 17-game season, you want to win 10. Goes to an 18. That's where it's going to get interesting. Will 10-8 get you in? I don't know. We'll have teams. It's funny. We'll have teams. Remember wasn't it the Tampa Bay Bucks last year won their division at 8-9?
I was going to say, whoever is in that mess, they got in the playoffs with a losing record.
And it doesn't happen very often, but it happens. And that we all know that's not a good look for the NFL, and they don't like that.
That's a terrible division.
That's a terrible division, and the way every sport is broken down. If you're in a division, it doesn't matter if you finish 3-14. If the rest of the teams win 2 games, you win that division.
Right.
You can. I think the worst. Do you guys remember when the Rams? No, they might have been St. Louis. Casey Keenum, I think his name is. It was the battle between them and the Seahawks, and honestly, I think the Rams won, and their overall record was 7-9.
Wild card.
Yeah, so there, and I think that's one of the worst records to make the wild card is 7-9. That's pretty bad. But it depends on the division you're in. So,
right. Is that the year that Kurt Warner come in and led them to the Super Bowl? The Rams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it gets me to thinking too, because it's like, here's, to be excited. For example, Turpie's team, the Jets. I'd be fairly excited if I was a Jets fan right now. Seriously, for the fact that you play in the East, and guess what? The win every year, New England Patriots. No, not only are they not a win the whole thing every year, they're going to be bad. The Patriots are not going to be a threat. The Buffalo Bills have let Stephon Diggs. Seriously, I mean, they have got. The reason I'm pausing is I'm getting these unfortunate messages that my phone is burning up. It's fairly warm here. I've already done the other things to cool it down. Is it or maybe it's saying, oh, nope, it's saying it's been restored. So good. I figured out a way to cool it down.
I was gonna say, if you guys want to call it, we got 2 people hanging. I think Mary Jane and I are the 2, maybe Kyle.
Okay, how about if I just finish though? Because actually, I'm excited, and I'm not even a Jets fan. I would be, because Buffalo's not going to be the same. Who else do we got in there?
Miami.
Miami lost some. Miami lost some key defensive players. One of them, Christopher Wilkins, for the Raiders. Jets fan, I like it. So yeah, why don't we?
I don't ever count my chickens before they hatch.
Always smart. And we'll just mention our teams real quick. I'm excited for the first time in a long time as a Raiders fan. And I'm not even being biased when I'm saying they finally got a coach that is a Raider. If you see Antonio Pierce on the sidelines, he totally fits. His attitude fits. The fact that he's a tough guy. The fact that, he believes. Huh?
I said, I thought Chucky fit. I thought Gruden was a good
No, and that's what I'm saying. Antonio Pierce. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Skunky, though, because here's the difference. And I'm going to give credit to the Jets. The Jets have put themselves a team that's got a defense where on offense, all you need to do is score 20, 24 points. Figure out how to work on offense. But this year, the Raiders' defense is going to be the best side of the ball. Anybody who doesn't know who Christopher Wilkins is, you're going to. Because this guy from Miami tore it up, and he was the only guy on the line. And when he found out he was being traded to the Raiders, he goes, "You're telling me I'm going to line up next to that Mad Max guy, number 98? Oh, God." Right. So I think the Raiders' defense is going to be good. I think the Jets' defense is going to be good. I wish we had a quarterback more like Aaron Rodgers. But what the Raiders have, we got a lot of skill. We have a guy that you're going to get to know, and his name is Brock Bowers. And I know you know about him from Georgia. That we got at tight end. This guy's an old school beast that's not going to run around people.
Who's your quarterback?
Well, it's going to be, and it's interesting about that. It's going to be a battle between Aiden O'Connell, who I actually like, 6th-round pick out of Purdue.
Very nice to
But I'll
meet
tell you
you as
the underrated player, Skunky, is Gardner Minshew. He took the Colts to the playoffs. This guy, he's the one with the weird mustache. Yeah, but I really do like Aiden O'Connell. Antonio Pierce said, look, sometimes these guys, and I know Turpy would agree, in the 6th round, they have that chip on their shoulder. And sometimes that could be good. Tom Brady. All right. Well, Turpy was saying that maybe we should call it. So I don't want to keep you guys any longer, but it's fun talking sports. It's easy talking sports.
Always a good time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for doing such a fantastic job. I want to thank Danielle for stopping in and everybody else that's been in. And Mary
MJ, huge fan. Thank you, MJ. Boom.
Yeah, Jane and her friends over there. Thank you for.
Heck yeah. Kathy and Carly, big shout out.
Yeah.
Boy.
I think that's it. I'll see you guys.
All right.
You guys don't hang up from here yet. I'm going to stop the stream, but you stay here for a second. I want to talk.
You got it.
Nice seeing you.
Everybody.
Peace.
Join our Discord and come hang out with us all the time. Yeah. WTHC Radio.